Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 and 3 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Testing 1 1 1. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing testing testing. Do we need to move this, Jared, you think, or this thing here? That's not going to affect us, is it? We need to. Testing 1 2 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 1 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3 4.
I wonder if we need to move these kind of like this at an angle so they'll be able to pick up their face, or move that up or something. Kind of like that. There he is. Yeah, we might just set that like that. That ain't going to hurt anything, is it, Jared? All right, how about you? Looking forward to it tonight. Get my seeing glasses out of here. Okay. Where at? Mountain Home. Is that where he lives? How old is he, Brother Gilbert? Now, that wasn't his first stroke, was it? Didn't he have one before that way back there? Thought so. Yeah, bless his heart. Is he a Christian? Good, good, good. Well, I'll tell you, we never know. This thing's wrapping up, I'll tell you for sure. He worked for the state. Is that what he did? Drove truck. Well, some people have that gift.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay.
Kind of what I was thinking about doing is just, as we kick off, we'll open up and I'll introduce you guys and just talk about kind of what we're going to do here tonight with a real brief introduction type thing. And maybe just give each of you an opportunity to say something to open with. And then you might just mention what you're going to be talking about when we get to it or whatever. Or, I know you may even want to just kind of give them a little background on yourself. That's up to y'all guys, however you want to do that. But I know when I start, I want to introduce you guys and just let everybody know kind of the three basic areas we're going to be addressing. Brother Gilbert will begin that process, of course, talking about perilous times, and I'll take over, and then Jared will do his part. Now, we haven't had any questions come in. We've got a few questions probably we can address and talk about. So it's kind of hard to know what questions we're going to have in regard to your part, because I don't really know exactly what you're going to be covering. So until we get down to that part. Yeah. I figure by the time we do our little presentations, it may raise a question in our mind between each other, and we might open it for discussion after each one of them for just a minute and see if you have a question in regard to mine or whatever, or yours or who's ever. And then that'll give you a little bit of time to respond back to the question. And, that back and forth, I think, will be beneficial to everybody as we share our thoughts and talk about those things, So, I mean, to be honest with you, we probably should have went about, I've thought about this a lot, but initially I wanted to do it this way just because I felt like if we talked about a single subject, it might just kind of bore people to tears. But I don't know that you can bore them to tears on these things. These things are so important. We could have taken 45 minutes just to talk about perilous times, where we're at, especially right now with all the stuff that's going on, and then the rapture, and then poor Jared, he's trying to condense the entire tribulation period in a little short period of time. I got to see this happen. I don't know how you're going to do that. So. Okay. So, I mean, really, my goal is really for us to open up more questions, to get people to thinking, and I hope after this we will get some questions even while we're doing that. And what I had hoped, and I was going to ask you, Jared, is could I have this phone on so I could follow this online and see if there's any questions that come in during that time. If it's a question I feel like we can answer without a problem, without creating too much controversy, we'll answer it. If it's one of those questions that's kind of open-ended on both ends and could be controversial, we may want to leave that and answer that question after the fact online, after we've discussed it. But if it's a simple, basic question that I feel all three of us, understand and we can answer it, then we need to answer that all. But if you get into too many questions, let's say you get 10 questions in regard to the rapture of the church, there's no way you can cover all of that without infringing on somebody else's time and making this thing awful long. My goal is to do all of this in less than an hour. If we can do all of this in less than an hour, then I'll feel like we've kept it down to a pretty good, manageable time frame. And so, it's pretty hard to cover. I was thinking about Brother Gilbert's and what he would have to cover, and thinking about end times and where we're at and all the stuff that's going on. I tell you, it'd be pretty hard to even cover that in a 10-minute time frame. Mine was pretty hard to limit to 10 minutes, I'll just tell you. So, but, again, it's a first-time thing, and we'll give it a shot. I think it's going to open up a lot of discussion and give us an opportunity maybe to, present this on an ongoing basis, maybe once a month or twice a month, however we decide we want to do that.
New people listening.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of people out there, Brother Gilbert, who don't don the doors of a church. And I tell you one thing for sure with everything that's going on right now, somebody needs to be speaking to the moment, because there are a lot of people out there, they don't have a clue. In their mind, it's all Democrat, it's all Republican, it's all politics, or it's all economic, it's all this. But there's a lot of spiritual, influence in all of what's going on today. So it's pretty scary times, really. So.
I was just this week, the millenniums, 60% of them don't even believe the Word of God.
Yeah. And I think that's an ongoing problem, too. So, yeah. And there are probably a lot of those that are making up some of this stuff that's going on out on the streets right now. So, you know, I, it's kind of a crazy time. You know, I support American right to protest as long as they do it peacefully. I don't support this lawless stuff that's going on right now, and I certainly see that as another extension of the signs of the times. You know where we're at. So even the Bible declares that the Antichrist would be, he's called the lawless one, you know, as we approach this thing. And obviously all this lawlessness comes from him. You know, this whole idea of lawlessness is you know, it's tied into the word iniquity. As I studied that out and looked at it a little bit, on many occasions where Jesus was, Scripture lays out and talks about iniquity, he's talking about lawlessness. You know, a mindset that they don't have to obey God. They don't have to obey authorities, government authorities. Don't have to follow the guidelines of leadership in the church. It's a lawless spirit, and it is prevalent in our generation, no doubt about it. Yeah, he's the one that's funding all this stuff. George Soros. Yeah, he sure is. I tell you, paying these guys. I'll just tell you, I know it may not be right, but I ain't sure we wouldn't be better off to send a drone over there and take that dude out. As much trouble as he's caused here in the United States. He's an anarchist. You know, he's one of these followers of Saul Alinsky, and they believe by creating chaos they can create a new environment. And they're looking to create a socialist, you know, mindset in America, and they're making inroads. They are making inroads. I would have never thought, if you were to go back 20 years ago, that we would ever see some of the stuff, that American people would be that stupid to embrace that. But I think there's a spirit at work. You know, the God of this world has blinded them. They can't see the truth, and their hearts have become hardened and calloused, and you know, and they refuse to retain knowledge. They don't want to believe what the Word of God says, and therefore they just go off and whatever they feel like doing, that's what they do. It's a scary time, a scary time to be living, I tell you for sure. For the child of God, I think it's going to get really bad. I think we're going to, more and more, we're going to see more and more persecution. If Trump loses this election, I think the church is in big trouble. Mm-hmm. It's serious times, I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right, we're in the birth pains. That's exactly where we're at. Yeah, me too. I would have. And we could be out of here before the night's over, Brother Gilbert. I really believe we're that close. But at the same time, if we're not, you know, if it give us another year, and if this thing goes south, and let's say Trump loses this election, and these Democrats get control of the House and the Senate, I believe the church is going to have a big old target on it. So look out. And our Supreme Court has already proven that they're as weak-kneed as they possibly can be. So we don't know what we're going to get on decisions up there. You know, they keep saying we're appointing conservatives, but like Roberts, you know, he was appointed by Bush. He's turned out to be another Kennedy. He's just weak-kneed as he could be on most issues. He's straight left. So, and Kavanaugh may be a little stronger, a little better. But they keep saying these real conservative people, they can't get them passed through. I don't believe that. I just don't believe they want them in there because it doesn't fit their mindset. Most of these folks up there, Democrat and Republican, vast majority of them, I'm afraid, are as leftist as you get. Just some of them maybe a little bit more left one way than the other. That may not be a good picture. I never thought about that. Too late, though. We can't back out because I've already put it on there as a round table discussion. This is the only round table I could find. I figured we needed a small round table.
There was churches down in Clay County and Craig County. Everything is spiked.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and you know we may get pulled back again before it's over with. It wouldn't surprise me one bit because if these spikes keep going up, I'm sorry. Tap on this mic. Okay. There he is. There we go. Like this? More? Okay. What if we move the chair a little bit more that way, or the table? And then maybe if I went this way, because I'm going to be more straight on, and then you brought yours this way, would it be more that way? I don't know how that's going to work. We may have to do it more like that.
Well, for you to be straight on to the camera, though, you would have to be right here.
Right here? Okay. On over here?
Camera right there.
Okay. So maybe we need to move this a little bit then. Is that more straight on?
Test. Test. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're not going to hear ourselves because I kind of shut that stuff down.
Okay.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Actually, I can turn the front of the house back up. Hey, Robin, the slider part is to the right. That's the mains. Testing 1, 2, 3. Turn it up. Test. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep going. Testing. Testing. Okay.
Testing one. Testing one. 1, 2, 3.
Does that look all right for Brother Gilbert? I'll just tell him when he's talking to that he's directing to the audience. Just look at that camera.
Yeah, look at the camera. Brother Gilbert, how many years you been preaching now?
Let's see. 62. That's 56 years.
62. How many years you been
Well,
pastoring?
I've been saved 62, but I've been preaching 56 years.
Been preaching 56. How many years you pastor?
All of it except for about 3 years.
So 48 years that pastoring probably.
About 50,
52 all total, right?
Just passion, but 56,
52
56 in the ministry.
Yeah, 56 in the ministry. And then how long were you at Lake City?
20 years.
20 years. I thought you were over there about 20 years. So. You've been in with us better than what, probably 12 years or so. We've been out here at least 10, I think.
This is 12.
So 8 years.
12 and this is 20. So it'll be 8 years.
Okay.
That'll be 8 years. It's coming November. So almost 8 years. So I left Greenfield for 2012.
So you've been 56 years in the ministry, and 53 of that has been pastoral, right? And you were 20 at Lake City. Been here somewhere between 8 and 10 then.
8, number 8 and 9.
Yeah. Yeah, see, you were with us over there some before we come over here, so. Yeah. Yeah. How long were you there at Greenfield? Wow, it didn't seem like you was there 12 years, but well, time gets away, doesn't it?
When my voice gave out on me, my wife, she started having a problem.
Yeah, that's when she started having a lot of this problem with her stomach. Yeah. So that's what happened to Sister Doak, too. She still has problems. Sometimes she does pretty good, and other times she has real problems. We've had it.
You can keep your gallbladder going. Just leave it in there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we thought it was going to be a cure-all for her, and for the first couple of months, she did really good. It was about 3 or 4 months after the fact that she started having problems. I mean, now, if we're at Jonesboro and we eat, we got to come straight home. And I mean, we got to get home. Sometimes she's had to leave here and go straight home because, you know, she had to go. So.
What it is, they said it would get better, but it hasn't got any better.
Hers hadn't either, and she's had hers done for 6, 7 years now. So, it's, to be honest with you, it's only got more temperamental, not less.
Which we thought, you know, she has a problem in this organ. It wasn't this bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had her in the hospital, and they checked everything out, and they said gallbladder working about 15%.
Wow.
And they thought I could take it out, and might help her, but it just gets worse.
Yeah.
She'd been better off to let her do it.
Well, Sister Doak had.
She didn't have this problem with that.
Yeah. Sister Doak she had a bunch of stones in hers, so they had to take it out. She had a bunch of those gallbladder stones.
Oh, stones?
Yeah. And they said that if they didn't take them out, she would have real issues. So
Yeah,
I didn't know, but that doctor told us that Indians are predisposed to having stones. Yeah, even kidney stones, he said, but especially gallstones.
There's been a lot of missionaries getting that too.
Yeah.
In the mission field. Oh, especially over in Africa. When they come home back here, they like to. Even 12, 14-year-old kids are
Mm-hmm.
having gallbladder stones.
Yeah.
We had a man in church, he brought in church, he had a bladder stone.
Really?
and how he didn't be able to touch it. It's different than kidney stones. Steph Freedom's to the hospital. They put her in today with a kidney stone.
Wow. I've never had any kidney stones, but they tell me they are tough, tough, tough. So.
She was rather clear.